Hello, and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Why Have So Many Tech Millionaires and Billionaires Gone Completely Insane? Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up. So remember to click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we upload a new episode. I would also like to tell you about a service called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a great service that allows you to purchase live phone calls from your favorite celebrities. You can buy as a gift for somebody you know, or just for yourself because it's fun to hear from your favorite celebrity. So give it a try. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. So why have so many tech millionaires and billionaires gone completely nuts right off the deep end? The stuff we're hearing is so bizarre, so nuts that it is amazing. I don't know why so many of the super wealthy in the tech community just completely lose their minds once the serious money, gets transferred into their bank accounts. It is amazing. Every day we hear news stories about the insane behavior of the tech oligarchs in the U.S. and abroad, and this is behavior that you would expect from, complete lunatics, behavior that you would expect from meth heads, from street junkies, from criminals. I'm telling you, it is nuts. So one of the most popular things to do in Silicon Valley on Monday morning when people come into work is they gather around the water cooler and they discuss all the crazy rumors they're hearing about the tech elite and the parties they have had over the weekend. It's become almost a Monday morning water cooler tradition for most employees at most companies. It's incredible. So whether they're true or not is almost irrelevant because people like hearing these stories so much. If it's a rumor, if it's fact, that's almost secondary because the stories, they have the ring of truth about them. There's this expression that dating a tech millionaire is like living in some bizarre reality TV show world, only far worse. You hear this all the time. There's a complete absence of normalcy in the tech elite financial world. I'm not exaggerating. There's one story that was circulating recently about a rich tech nutjob who was paying his guests at his party who've never been high before to try and get high on some of the drugs for the first time at his party. I don't know what it is about, debauchery or this kind of insane behavior, but lunatics hate behaving insanely by themselves. They want to spread their mental problems to other people so they can somehow feel more less lonely in their weirdness. Apparently there are a lot of people there who are longtime drug users at this guy's party who are just pretending never to have used drugs just so that they could use his drugs for free, because that's what people do with morons. They exploit them. And if you're a stupid tech oligarch and you don't know any better, then people are going to exploit you and pretend never to have gotten high just so they can use your drugs. That's what opportunists do. So there was another tech creep who likes to throw parties on weekends called Guess Who the Hooker Is. He would invite normal people and he would invite hookers and escorts and let everybody try and guess who was who. Apparently, these parties are famous for all the creepy flirtation and outright solicitation. And they always end up with screaming matches and shouting matches as people who aren't hookers get mistaken for being hookers at the party and they get insulted and they get angry. So, welcome to Silicon Valley, perhaps one of the largest insane asylums in the world. If you thought Hollywood was insane, wait till you see Silicon Valley. Another thing about these parties is that they always have a no camera rule. No cameras, no cell phones. And when you enter the party, before you get inside, they ask you to surrender all your equipment. They check your glasses for hidden cameras inside the glasses. Everything gets put inside a plastic bag, and it's got to be left at the door. You can't proceed into the party unless you go through that security protocol. There's also an ID authentication scan of people's IDs to make sure that nobody underage is sneaking into the party. You know, if there's one thing that the tech oligarchs are scared to death of, is it's not being sued, it's not being embarrassed, it's being revealed that they're pedos. You know, a lot of the pedos in Silicon Valley are scared to death that somebody will find out, you know, about their lifestyle choices. So they have very heavy screening at their parties for cameras and other surveillance devices that may be concealed on somebody's person. There's one tech lunatic that is so rich that he and his other rich friends like to throw parties with what they call our sex auctions. What they'll do is they'll have a loud, long party throughout the evening. And then the high point of the evening is to pick some random girls from the party and have them get on this little stage and have men at the party bid for their sexual services to see if the woman would accept money to sleep with them or not in the next room. Now, it's like Revenge of the Nerd. It's like a Revenge of the Nerds fantasy, where the crazy rich tech nerds will start offering crazy money at some of these girls. Some of them are just like the girl next door, and some of them are beautiful, stunning supermodel types. But the point is to try to get a girl who is way out of their league to sleep with them, because, you know, back before the money, they could never get anybody to sleep with them. So this is their way of seeking revenge. They will even offer extra money if the girl will sign a release allowing them to videotape the entire physical encounter. Now, the rumor is that most women will break and cave in at about the $50,000 point. You know, everybody says they would never sleep for money, but if you have, you know, 50 or 100 grand in student debt, if you can't make your rent payment, whatever the occasion is, if somebody waves 50,000, 60,000 in front of your nose, there is a percentage of people who will break and take the money. They say that some of the craziest behavior when these tech lunatics throw a party takes place on their yachts. Why is that? Because what they'll do is they'll have everybody board their yachts, and then they'll go out beyond the 12-mile limit of the US. Once they're beyond the 12-mile limit, then they're beyond the reach of law enforcement. So you have to ask yourself, why do these creeps need to be beyond the reach of law enforcement? That should be your first clue that something really, really inappropriate is about to happen. We're hearing that these parties can last an entire weekend, and that once they start, the party will not end until Sunday night. If you want to return from the party early, then you have to take the yacht's tender back to the shore, because they're not bringing the yacht itself back until Sunday night. So why is that? Why is it they send them on the tender and not the yacht itself? Well, because they're not going to bring that yacht back until all the incriminating and illegal evidence that that was used throughout the weekend is scrubbed and gotten rid of. They need to get rid of all the evidence of anything inappropriate before they come back within the 12-mile limit. And that's, of course, so that they don't get boarded by the Coast Guard and they don't get arrested for some of this creepy behavior. Most of these people who attend these parties will say they can't believe how whacked out and insane some of the tech millionaires and CEOs behave in private. They'll tell you that if the video of some of these parties were ever smuggled out and released to the media, then it would be game over for most of these nut jobs. And I'm not just talking about being forced out of the companies. Some of these morons would be behind bars. Now, a lot of guests at these parties marvel at how much narcotics and mushrooms and hallucinogenics play a role at these gatherings. For some strange reason, it seems that a lot of these tech lunatics really believe that taking these mushrooms and these hallucinogenics allows them to communicate with alien beings in other dimensions. Some of them even believe that some of their greatest and most creative ideas get communicated to these tech guys when they're in a hallucinogenic state, and they're in a hallucinogenic mindset. And that's why some of them get high, because they're hoping some of these purported aliens will give them the next great idea. What's really ironic, this is so bizarre, is how often these tech creeps who will profess to be such health fanatics, and they'll go to the gym 5 times a day, they'll work out on their own gyms, they'll eat vegan, they'll try to get everybody else to eat vegan. But when it comes to narcotics or bizarre chemicals, they'll pour that into their bodies like it's nobody's business. It's really strange. Another creepy thing that people always mention is how different the public persona of these tech guys is compared to the private persona. In many instances, the two personas are unrecognizable. One persona is the one you display in front of your mother or your grandmother, and the other persona is something you would display, in a room full of hookers or drug addicts or meth heads. So it's just a huge dichotomy between one side of their personality and the other side of their personality. Another thing that's really common is before you get into some of these parties, in fact, before you get into most of them, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and you have to sign it on camera, verbally acknowledging that you consent to the terms of the agreement. It's clear that most of the people who have attended these parties say there's absolutely no shortage of mental illness amongst these creeps. In fact, if there's anything that most of these tech elite have in common, it is severe mental illness. It's very well concealed mental illness when they're doing a press conference or when they're in front of their employees. Then it's compartmentalized and it's concealed. But behind closed doors, they are crazy with a capital K. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. I'll tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more great breaking news stories. So remember to subscribe to our channel for free and a link to our channel so you get notified every time we post a new episode. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.